Hi, Pastor Mark here with Dano, our Director of Ministries here at First Methodist, and we want to take just a couple minutes and talk to you about some really exciting changes that are going to be taking place here at First Methodist just in a few weeks. As you may or may not be aware, in the first 3 weeks of September, we're going to be doing some alterations and some renovations to our sanctuary, to our narthex, that's where you walk into the building to go to worship, and also to the area I'm in now, which is called Memorial Hall. Now, these are plans that we have thought about and talked about for a few years, and we've really come up with a plan that we think is going to both beautify these areas and make them a lot more functional. These plans have been already approved by our administrative board as well as our board of trustees, but we wanted you to know about it too. Change, especially good change, is really, really exciting, but we also know it's a little bit scary too. So we wanted to give you sort of a brief idea of what it is we're doing. We're going to talk about the what, which is exactly what we hope to accomplish through this. We're going to talk about the why. What are the benefits to this church going to be? And then we're going to address a question that probably is on a lot of our minds, and that is, how in the world are we going to pay for it? These are really exciting changes, and I am confident that they're going to really be a blessing to us as a church. But we wanted you to be aware of it. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dano to talk a little bit about the what that you can expect in September here at First Methodist.
So in September, we are going to be starting off just a couple weeks. We've talked about being out of services on Sunday mornings for 3 weeks. We're hoping that all of the projects are going to be completed by then. But we are going to be working on Memorial Hall, which is the hall that we're in right now, with the Welcome Center all the way up to the restrooms, as well as the narthex, which is the entrance behind the sanctuary to the parking lot, as well as parts of the sanctuary, including the altar area. So Memorial Hall and the narthex, we're really just going to be trying and beautify these parts. And another thing that we're trying to do here is to make it a little bit easier for our custodians to keep our spots clean. We are going to be changing the floors up a little bit. We're going to be putting new floors in. We're going to be putting new ceilings in, which is hopefully going to add a little bit more light into the hallways. And then we're going to cover up some of the cinder block that is all around Memorial Hall and the narthex. And we really think that that is going to create a much better atmosphere for visitors coming in, as well as for our congregation and our members, the people that are here and are a part of our church every Sunday. We want to make it beautiful for all of you as you walk in those front doors from the parking lot. And then one of the changes we are making, and this change comes with the idea of spacing, as well as hiding cables, and not just hiding cables, but we have found that when we have our choir up front, or we have funerals, or we have weddings, that our cabling in the front of the sanctuary is in the way. So one of the ideas that we've been talking about is putting the cables in a different spot so that we can better accommodate funerals, weddings, when the choir comes up front, when the praise team is up front at 9:30 and every Sunday morning. So we are going to expand the altar area just a little bit. We're going to bring it out a little bit to the front of the sanctuary, a little bit closer. A lot of us say where Mark preaches, where he stands, where he resides, right in the middle. We're going to lift him up a little bit for when he preaches. And we're hoping that it's going to be a very good change. We are going to have the communion rails incorporated into a section of that change, so they are still going to be there. But we're hoping that this is going to give us a little bit more space. It's going to provide us better viewing angles for our live stream, which, as we all know, is here to stay, because we do have snowbirds during the winter who are going to be away. We have people who, if you're not feeling well and you're staying home, you can still meet with us on Sunday morning for worship, and that is very near and dear to us. We're very excited to be able to continue to do that. So we are going to be expanding the altar area up a little bit. I think we're moving it forward. The tallest portion of that is going to go out about 8 feet on each side. The stairs are still going to be there right in the middle.
We're not going to lose any of the pews.
We're not going to lose anything. Nope. And there'll be plenty of space for funerals and weddings. And that's kind of a big part, too, where we want to make sure that where the bridal party is standing, you can take pictures. They are involved in all of those photographs that they can take of couples, and just have a much better, it's going to be beautiful, but it's also going to be a lot more functional for us, too. So.
Absolutely. And Dano's already given you a good idea of what the what is, and as well as some of the whys. But there's a couple of things just to point out with that. One of them is, quite frankly, just making this building more attractive. The area that we're in and the sanctuary is better than 50 years old. And during those 50 years, it's had much the same feeling, much the same look. While this isn't going to be a radical transformation, it will be an updating. We want this toolbox that God has given us to feel warm and welcoming and be attractive for you, our congregation, also for all of the visitors that we have, for the preschool parents coming through, for all of those in the more than 30 community groups that use this church on a regular basis, as well as everybody here for the funerals and weddings. We really are a community church, and if you've been around here at all during the week, you know that there's a steady flow of our community in and out of this building, which is exactly the way we want it. For you and for everyone who comes through these doors, we want this to be a strikingly warm and welcoming and beautiful environment. The other thing about the why is exactly what Dano said. It's the functionality of our sanctuary. By expanding that area, we're going to be able to accommodate more things that we do much easier. It'll also give it a much more spacious and a neater look. We're really excited about that. Now to one more question that has to be on everybody's mind. At a time when our budget is tight, how in the world can we begin to afford this? Well, that's the really good news. None of the money going to these renovations comes from our budget. God has been incredibly faithful and good to us. And over the last few years, we have received a number of grants that are meant for renovation that we've sort of held back and held on to. We've also gotten some private contributions. So all of the money that we are spending on these renovations will be outside of the budget. That's an incredibly good place to be for us, because it means we can continue the things that really matter. We take stewardship very seriously here, and the money in that budget, when you give to the budget, that goes to ministries, that goes to really the activities that this church does. God has been so good because now we're in a position where we can do this without having to touch that budget. I hope this information helps a little bit. You may still have some questions, and that's fine. Give me a call. We're also going to be holding 2 congregational meetings that will also be there for your information. But we hope that this gives you the same sense of excitement that we have, because we really are looking forward to what this is going to do. And this is going to be that next step forward for us as a congregation, something that'll serve us for years to come. I've said so many times, life here is an adventure, and this is just one more step along that adventure. So thank you for being a part of it, and we look forward to having you here and seeing what God is doing here at First Methodist. Thank you.
And real quick, just if you're not going to make it on Sunday, we are going to announce once again that we're going to be having a meeting. Our 2 meetings are going to be Sunday at 12 in Downey Hall. And then the following meeting is next Wednesday, at what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Both of those are going to be in Downey Hall. They are open to anybody who would like to come and hear a little bit more about what we're going to be doing. And if you have any questions for us, we would love to be able to talk to everybody about what we're going to be doing. So please join us for one of those if you would like. Thank you.
Thank you so much.